So in this session, we're going to talk about social media, particularly the use in the classroom and outside the classroom, and the appropriate guidelines to follow. Now, the district recognizes the importance of social media use in the classroom, as well as the benefit it has to the public as a district employee. However, when you're using social media, you should always use it in a professional manner. So when we're looking at social media, staff members are expected to be positive ambassadors for the school district, be appropriate role models for students, and remain professional in their interactions with individuals, whether they're employees or non-employees, on social media forums. Failure to do so and to follow the policies that are provided for you in the handbook or within the district's guidelines can subject you to discipline up to and including termination. Now, when we're talking about social media, we're talking about any type of social media platform that is on the internet. That includes your normal social media sites such as Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, as well as other sites that you may maintain on yourself, such as blogs, online diaries, those types of things. Employees are solely responsible for the content that they post on social media. They should always use their best judgment and make sure that when they are posting content, that content does not adversely affect working conditions of other employees, not adversely affect relationships with parents, other staff members, or with students. Content that negatively impacts students, the district, or other employees may lead to disciplinary action. Employees must adhere to the employee handbook and other district policies when we're talking about social media. Refrain from all inappropriate remarks, which include but are not limited to discriminatory remarks, harassment, threats of violence, or any other similar inappropriate or unlawful conduct. Such postings violate the policy and can lead to discipline. Now, again, employees must use their best judgment when using social media. And we're not talking about only within the classroom, but also outside the classroom, outside school hours, because you are a representative of the district. Remember that no employee has a right to expectation of privacy using district computers and district internet devices. This is all provided in policies of the district. And also remember that because those are district-owned equipment and services, that the district has the right to monitor all those at its discretion to ensure that all activity on those devices and systems comply with the district's policies and procedures. Now remember, just like we're in the classroom or we're in person, anytime we post on social media, we want to make sure that we're professional. We're always fair, courteous, professional, avoid statements that are threatening, harassing, or that are unlawful, avoid posts that disparage the district or its aims or its goals, and avoid statements or posts that may constitute harassment or bullying of people. Now, some examples of inappropriate statements: offensive posts meant to intentionally harm an employee. We're talking about singling out an employee, anything that contributes to a hostile work environment, making off-color jokes based on sex, based on race, based on any protected category. Threats made to stalk, haze, physically injure the person. We've all heard about the stories, particularly close to home in Missouri, of parents who have singled out students or employees to harass them on social media. Please refrain from that. And then obviously posting pornography. When you're posting online, always make sure that you're honest and accurate. That is key. Remember that the internet archives anything. Even though you think you've deleted it, it is somewhere there. There is a screenshot somewhere that it can be pulled up and drudged up, even if you deleted it, even if you disabled your account. Refrain from posting rumors or things you know to be false, okay? Rumors can lead to bigger issues and raise the public concern on something that may not even be there. When you're posting online, again, always only post appropriate and respectful content. Your social media posts should always maintain appropriate privacy and confidentiality, and that also understand that that means to identities of students, actions by students, names of students, those types of things to make sure that we are following under applicable laws such as FERPA. If you link to a blog or a website or social media site, you cannot link the district's website or district's content to your social media account or your blog without first obtaining the district's permission. Again, only express your opinions and represent yourself when posting something on social media. Now, if the district is a subject of the content that you're creating, you must be clear that, one, you do not speak for the district, and that your opinions or ideas that are expressed are not being expressed on behalf of the district, and you're not speaking on behalf of the districts or your fellow employees or students or anyone else. The other thing is making sure that you're respecting the law, and that includes specifically copyright law, that you're not using other people's materials or protected information. Now remember, you are always a school employee, okay? When you're writing, always write in the first person. Make it clear you're speaking for yourself and not the district. Do not represent yourself by using someone else's identity or misrepresenting your identity. Be honest, and again, don't share confidential information. Particularly what we're talking about here is student information, including student identity, anything like that. Be professional, as we've discussed. Represent the district's values of respect, responsibility, integrity, citizenship, honesty, and teamwork. Always respect copyright and fair use guidelines, and that includes the district's own logos and copyrighted information and images. If you want to use a logo or copyright information from the district, make sure that you are receiving express permission from the central office. If you make a mistake on a post, make sure you admit it quickly and correct it quickly. And be cautious about posting personal videos and pictures. Again, respect others and ensure the safety of students. Respect the privacy and feelings of others. Don't post offensive comments. And remember, you are always responsible for what you post publicly. Employees who join or engage in social networks with students, or that includes students, for example, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you have the responsibility of monitoring the content and addressing appropriate behavior accordingly. Okay? And we'll talk a little bit here very soon about friending students or having online connection with students. Permission should be sought when posting photos or movies of fellow employees or students, though the recommended policy of the district is that you do not post any pictures of students. Now make sure that you're managing staff and student relationships carefully. There are several policies about this in the central office that can be found on the district's website. But as a brief summary, employees are prohibited from establishing personal relationships with students. And those relationships we're talking about are unprofessional relationships, and that would be thereby inappropriate. Unprofessional relationships include, and this again according to policy, writing personal letters, emails or text messages, calling students on cell phones, sending inappropriate pictures, engaging in sexualized dialogue in any form, etc. Inappropriate and offensive content that is posted on social media, which again is another way to communicate with students by employees, and is viewed by students or parents or other staff, may be investigated by the district, and if warranted and found to be inappropriate, can subject you to discipline. Now, again, remember that all district email or computer systems, or even the internet where you access social media sites, can be reviewed by the district and is subject to monitoring by the district. Now, for your protection, all communication that you have with students, we highly recommend and encourage that all that communication goes through an email system or some type of system that is owned by the district. And the reason for that is that we can monitor it, we can archive it, so that if there's any allegations against you, either by a student or a parent, that we have that evidence there and we can use it to protect you. Another thing when we want to consider when we're posting things online is that we want to help build our community. When writing or posting, be accurate and add value to the conversation when we're talking about things online, specifically when we're talking about things with the district. Considerations to follow when you're using social media for personal use. Remember, as a teacher, you have a very unique position within the community. Okay? People are always going to see you as a teacher and as a representative of the school district. So your personal and professional life really is kind of blurred with the social media context, whether you're speaking as a teacher or whether you're speaking as an individual. Always exercise good judgment and common sense when you're posting things online, okay? Particularly if you're posting party pics or pics on vacation. Make sure that your privacy settings are set accordingly, that you know who your friends lists are, that any information you're posting, just assume that it is going to be seen by everyone in the community. Again, do not use district contact information when you're creating a personal social media account. So if you create a Facebook account or an Instagram account, use a Gmail account, a Yahoo account, or any account that's personal. Do not use a district email account that is assigned to you. Same thing with telephone number or anything like that. It is highly suggested and recommended by the district that you do not connect with students via social media. In other words, do not follow them on Instagram, do not allow them to follow you on Instagram. Same thing with Facebook, Twitter. Always keep them separate because it reduces the likelihood of inappropriate comments back and forth. Also reduces the likelihood that a student will post something on your Facebook page or any of your social media accounts that may be construed as inappropriate. And again, do not use district equipment or the district's network as the primary tools for maintaining your personal account. Now, classroom use is a little different, okay? A lot of these same parameters still apply. And we agree that social media can be a very powerful tool in connecting with students because they are so plugged in with their iPhones and their computers and using social media. Now, if you decide that you want to create a social media platform or an account for a particular class, first thing to do is to identify your building administrator and inform them that you're creating a social network for your class. It's also recommended that you make parents aware that you are creating a social media platform for your class to communicate with students. Now, when you are creating social media platforms for the classroom, that is when it is appropriate to use district information, for example, your district email. But again, that purpose of that page can only be used for the classroom. As soon as the class changes via semester or at the end of the year, you should disable that account and restart a brand new one for the next year if you want to do that again. For social media accounts used for the classroom, you must provide your username and password to your building administrator so that a building administrator can always access the account information on your social media account. Similarly, because you're going to have students on that account, you should set up either parameters that you have the opportunity to view before it is posted on a wall, for example, for Facebook, before it's public, so that you can monitor to ensure that no inappropriate comments or pictures or actions are taken on social media account that you are using for the classroom by students, parents, etc. Always abide using the proper guidelines for social media accounts as far as proper language, pictures, copyright information. That also includes age. If a social media system such as Facebook has age limitations, make sure that you are following those age limitations and not setting it up for a class where your students are younger than the required age limit. And then treat social media network like a classroom. Monitor closely the interactions between your students and deal with inappropriate use immediately, just as you would in the classroom. So again, if you see bullying or threatening remarks between students, make sure that you are following up on that immediately. Now, reporting. If you become aware of any use of social media that violates any of the district's policies, whether in the handbook or whether in the central office policies, make sure that you are reporting it to the district's Human Resources Department or to any other administration in the central office if you are uncomfortable reporting it to Human Resources. There will be no retaliation for good faith reporting or if you participate in an investigation of inappropriate posts on social media. Now, we want to emphasize, and this is located and discussed in our policy, but ensure that nothing in this policy prohibits you or should be construed to limit our employees' rights to discuss the terms and conditions of their employment as provided by the NLRA. Okay? Nothing in the social media guide should be interpreted, nor does it limit any employee's rights to free speech or speech that is protected by any federal or state or local applicable law. Thank you very much. Hope you have a great day.